Is this what you want? This fucking foliage? Is this what you want? Mr. Dips? Is this what you want? Me standing in front of EC3 buying designer coats? Is this what you want? Me sitting in some hipster hotel in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, fluffing pillows? Is this what you want? I don't believe this. This graffiti art, hipster hotels, avocado toast. All I want is a fucking Guinness. An ice cold Guinness. What the hell does that mean? Oh, this is what you wanted. This is your Monday Night Raw review right here on Off the Script. You know, normally, when you hear the words Championship Monday Night Raw, or it's a championship edition of Monday Night Raw, usually that would entail that it's going to be a very exciting night of WWE programming. Usually when you hear championship edition of anything, usually it means it's going to be a very epic and very exciting night of television. Monday Night Raw, clearly written by Bruce, my good old buddy Bruce. Championship editions of anything mean Monday Night Raw like we got tonight. Folks, I don't know what else I could possibly humanly tell you on top of what I've already said on this very show for the last 6 years. But this show is absolutely a dumpster fire of epic proportions. So much so that I think I'm going to start my own movement and cancel Monday Night Raw. Gotta get the hashtag going, cancel Raw. Everything else is being fucking canceled. Why not start at the top? Start at the top of the industry, Raw. I'm Bruce. This show is run by a bunch of blithering idiots that clearly do not have any sense of direction whatsoever, man. Oh my goodness. Oh. You know, I look forward to coming on here every single Monday night and just bringing you the illogical garbage that happens on this show, man. And that's exactly what we're going to do here again tonight. It's just coming at me in abundance. I can't get enough of it. It's like we come out of last week's show and I ripped that show to shreds. And then here we are this week and I'm like, how many more logic gaps is Bruce Pritchard going to dig for himself? Bruce Logic Gap Pritchard! Unreal. What is the difference between Paul Heyman's Monday Night Raw and Bruce Pritchard's Monday Night Raw? I can't fucking tell. In fact, Bruce is doing a worse job than Paul Heyman. Please tell me how anybody in the company thinks that this is the direction the company needs to be going in. And please, someone elaborate on what Paul Heyman was doing so dastardly on this show that he needed to be ousted as executive director of Monday Night. I don't think we'll ever find the answer, folks. But Monday Night Raw certainly isn't it. This edition of Monday Night Raw certainly wasn't it. 4 title matches taking place tonight. Yes, a whopping 4 title matches taking place tonight. Championship Monday edition of Monday Night Raw. SmackDown Women's Championship, Bayley and Sasha Banks. 2 of the best things on WWE television nowadays. Maybe one of the only bright spots of WWE television, period. They will defend the titles against the Moronics. Should get myself a Moronics t-shirt, man. Somebody photo capture me doing the fucking pose. The Moronics! That'll be a top seller. Unreal. Bayley and Banks defended their belts on Backlash Sunday and NXT on Wednesday night against Shotzi Blackheart and Tegan Nox. We got the Street Profits versus the Viking Raiders after 3 months of nauseating garbage. Nauseating, unfunny garbage. They finally had a Raw Tag Team Championship match tonight in the whatever I can do, you can do better situation. Did I fuck that up? I don't even give a shit. Whatever you could do, I could do better. Contest. Maybe I should have a fucking contest with Bruce. Whatever you can do, I can do better, Bruce. This is common knowledge. Asuka. She will defend the Raw Women's Championship against the android, Charlotte. You know. Because Charlotte. How did she get a title shot? I don't know, man. I don't know. She came off the conveyor belt. Poof. Championship match. She got a firmware update today. Championship match. She went in for a cleansing and a cleaning. She had her engines cleaned out. Championship match. We're giving championship matches away for nothing nowadays. Awesome. Awesome. Nia Jax is also involved in this. I can't wait. I can't wait. 24/7 Championship is on the line. Yes, they actually promoted this. R-Truth versus Akira Tozawa and his ninjas. With everything else being canceled, I want to see one person on social media call WWE out for their discriminatory actions here. I don't hear you. Where are you? How does anybody find this shit funny? How does anybody find this shit right? You're going to take a top-tier athlete, pro wrestler, Akira Tozawa, and hide him in a black fucking ninja costume? Am I watching fucking Chris Farley in Beverly Hills Ninja? No, I'm watching a fucking cartoon adaptation of the fucking Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Happened on Monday Night Raw. And that's that. Ric Flair is also on the show. He's here to crown Randy Orton as the greatest wrestler ever. Yeah, good luck with that. Good luck with that. And then the triceps tear, which was legit at Backlash. Edge, he has a word and an update for Randy Orton. What did he have to say? We'll figure it out. But if he's on the show, clearly his injury isn't as serious as WWE kind of played it off to be. So we'll go over that on the podcast today and fill in all the blanks in between right here on Off the Script, man. Thank you guys so much for joining me here on the podcast. If you missed Off the Script this weekend, episode 331, make sure you guys go and check all of that out, man. I know some of you actually wait and kind of binge watch them all, but Saturday's episode was actually very, very good as far as being recommended to YouTube because of what's going on in the community, the Speaking Out movement. And I commend everybody for coming on out, and I commend everybody for really standing up for what's right in the community as we take out the, I think trash is too good of a word for them, to be honest with you. I will not even utter their names because they don't even need to be mentioned here. I will not give them the satisfaction of mentioning their names here, but every company up and down, left and right, is taking out the trash and making it a lot better. So, obviously, WWE fell onto fire with a lot of this situation as well. Matt Riddle and the Velveteen Dream being two of the bigger names in the entire company. As you guys are aware, Jack Gallagher was fired from WWE without any hesitation whatsoever. A ton of NXT UK talent. The UK wrestling scene in general is being cleaned up as we speak. If you guys want my thoughts on that and everything that happened, all the noteworthy stuff, because there was just so much of it coming at me all day on Friday, on into Saturday, go and check that out and my thoughts on the Speaking Out movement. That is the main topic on Saturday's Off the Script. On Friday, we talk about one hell of a rant, bro. One hell of a rant. Kevin Dunn, which, by the way, Orlando, I believe it's Orlando. If it's not Orlando, it's Orange County at least. I believe all the state of Florida might actually have an executive order for mandatory masks, yet you didn't see one mask on WWE television tonight. But we rant about Kevin Dunn and the fact that he did say he does not allow masks inside the Performance Center and does not allow masks on TV. And if you don't wear a mask, you're not a fan. So we go over that. That is one legendary rant on Friday's episode. Go and check that out right now. As soon as you finish this, guys, links are down below in the description of this very video. Follow me on Twitter at JD from NY206. I'll be here all week as usual, giving you guys the round of off-the-script content every single week. AEW coming up on Wednesday. NXT. We got Off the Script. We got SmackDown as we head into Extreme Fools in 3 weeks in July. So make sure you guys go and do that on Twitter. Also Instagram as well. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on that bell for all notifications. Patreon, if you guys want to support the podcast via Patreon, you can certainly do that as well. Patreon.com/JD from NY206. Make sure you guys go and get your masks. Off the Script now has official masks. That is mouthmasker.com/OTS. Sold a ton of them already. Thank you guys so very much for that. Excellent material. Looks good. Looks great. Feels great. So I would never stiff you guys on the quality of merchandise here. Up next are caps. Hopefully. If I can find somebody to get them done for me, I'd love a good baseball cap. Now, that baseball MLB is back, bro. Spring training, July 1st, July 2nd, I believe, in that time frame. And then at the end of the month, I believe it's the 24th through the 26th. That weekend, we got baseball back, man. 50 to 60 games plus an extended playoff. I'm good to go. Braves baseball is back this summer, so I want to get those caps made. So, anyway, masks. I got baseball on the mind. Masks. Go and get your masks. Mouthmasker.com/OTS is the link for that. That'll be down below. And the podcast today is brought to you by Harry's. The one and only Harry's, man. I'm looking good right here with the fucking shape up here, man. Harrys.com/script. Make sure you guys go and get your trial set on me and look good for the opening day of the MLB. There you go. We'll talk about those guys a little bit later. Always great to have Harry's on board with Off the Script. Monday Night Raw opened up. Let's get into the top of the hour one. Monday Night Raw opened up. Look at that with the WWE Champion, Drew McIntyre. Wow! Drew McIntyre should be the most important thing on the show. So WWE is starting off with the most important thing on the show. The WWE Championship. That's the way it should be. And then WWE clearly shit all over the WWE Championship. And now, at this point, makes it the fourth most important thing on the show. Last month going into Backlash, it was the third. Now it's the fourth most important thing on the show. Well, JD, why do you say that, man? Well, let's get into it. McIntyre came out, said tonight is Championship Monday. He said last week, R-Truth hastily accepted a winner-take-all tag team match last week because it makes perfect sense, Bruce, that the 24/7 champion is doing the work of the WWE champion and making WWE champion-like decisions on this show, right? Doesn't make sense to me. Wrap your head around that one, Drew McIntyre said. Said he stands there as champion still. You're lucky. You survived the Bruce onslaught early on. Said it's time to take a look into the future. He was then interrupted by somebody that I have absolutely no idea why he's in this position. Absolutely nobody I want to see in this position. And somebody that I fully expected to be in this position. Dolph Ziggler came out. He came out. Saxton said, speaking of the past. Yeah, can we go back to the past? Mainly around 1999? Please? Especially when it comes to this fucking show. He said that he and Drew have a history together. The announcers noted that Ziggler is from SmackDown. Really? Really? You don't say. You don't say. Drew stood there smiling. Ziggler said he's sure happy to see him. Ziggler revealed that AJ Styles was traded to SmackDown in exchange for him and Bobby Roode. So Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler are coming to Monday Night Raw for AJ Styles. Still not a fair deal, but I'll leave it at that. So we got those two coming over to Monday Night Raw. He said he thinks Raw got the better end of the deal. Oh, Dolph, how you are mistaken, my friend. Maybe that bleached blonde is seeping into your fucking scalp. Anyway, he said they got the better end of the deal. Ziggler said no one is happy to see him as WWE champion than he is. He said he wouldn't want him to lose the title for any reason before I got what I was owed. Drew asked him what he owes him. Ziggler asked how he could have forgotten his redemption story. He said years ago, when he was in WWE, he got fired. He said he was the lowest he's ever been, and he came to Raw because of him. He said he went on to become dominant tag team champions because of him, and now he's the dominant WWE champion because of me. He said he needs a challenger at Extreme Rules. And he said he's owed a WWE championship match. You know what I'm owed? You know what you're owed? A good fucking 3-hour block of Monday Night Raw, which seems right now like we're never gonna get to happen, folks. This is fucking awful. This is awful. I tuned out as soon as he mentioned I'm owed and WWE championship. I tuned out. Drew said that's not the whole story. He said without Big Daddy Claymore watching his back, he's been losing a lot. He said he was traded to Raw as part of a 2-for-1 special. He said he is talented, but he's become exactly what we used to despise, an entitled jackass. Oh, you're describing Bruce, an entitled jackass. He said the world doesn't owe him anything. He said he is right, and he needs an opponent for Extreme Rules. He said Ziggler gave him the name Scottish Psychopath. He asked him to imagine how far he'll go to keep his title. He asked if he really wants this match. Ziggler nodded. McIntyre then said it's on because the wrestlers in the ring are now bookers as well, and they're making their own matches. So, folks, we got Dolph Ziggler versus Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship at Extreme Fools. Now, I got a lot of questions here, man, so bear with me. Number 1, why? Number 2, why? Number 3, why? And number 4, why? Why? I think that takes care of the list of questions I have as to why WWE is giving Dolph Ziggler a fucking WWE Championship match for absolutely no reason. Do you know how ridiculous this looks? Seriously. Then you got some fucking idiot in the comments section or some fucking idiot on social media. Well, it plays into their history. Number 1, it's a history I don't care to recall. Number 1. Number 2, fuck history. You all want to delete fucking history anyway, so might as well start with this. How does this make any sense? Dolph Ziggler just came over from SmackDown when he was feuding with fucking Otis. Comes over to Monday Night Raw, first night on the job, WWE title match. Does nobody realize this makes no sense? Or am I the only one in the fucking community that is going to call them out on this shit? Secondly, now I'm not some fucking scientist here. You know, I'm not the smartest guy that has ever done this. But correct me if I'm wrong, isn't this the same fucking storyline that we got last year with him and Kofi? They just changed the words around. What was it last year? I forgot. I even forgot what he said. It should have been me, is what he said, right? It should have been me. Now it's him. You owe this to me. The only things that's changed are the verbiage and the opponents that he's going up against. Last year was Kofi. This year it's Drew. Two guys that he seemingly has a history with. Now, I get it. Please don't fucking tell me and lecture me, you goddamn fucking shill. I know that Extreme Rules is nothing more than a bridge pay-per-view to get to SummerSlam. But this is WWE's fault. This is WWE's fault. How ridiculous does it look that this guy comes over to Monday Night Raw and does absolutely nothing to get a WWE Championship match? You are slowly ruining Drew McIntyre's WWE Championship reign week by week, pay-per-view by pay-per-view. First it was Bobby Lashley, who you guys buried for 3 years, and you want me to take him to be a dominant challenger for the WWE Championship. Now all of a sudden he's not good for the WWE Championship. Now they're putting him in the United States Championship title hunt. Yeah, that's exactly what I want to see. You sold me the fact of Bobby Lashley being a main event guy right back to the mid-card where he belongs. Good on you, Bruce. You guys got the fucking memory of a goddamn goldfish. Fucking ridiculous. You don't remember what you did 2, 3, 4 weeks ago. Do you remember Dolph Ziggler doing this storyline last year on SmackDown when Kofi was the WWE champion? Probably not. You weren't with the company then. Now you're saddled in your fucking role on Monday and Friday night, so you're gonna redo the fucking storyline you did last year because you have absolutely zero creativity. How many of you fucking guys listen to these other idiots in the community? How many of them are going to tell you exactly what I just told you here? Nobody. Absolutely nobody. Are they going to say it the way I said it with the logic that I gave it to you? No. No. I get it. Extreme Rules is a bridge pay-per-view. But man, oh man, can you set this guy up? Can you set Drew McIntyre up with some fucking quality opponents to make his title reign, I don't know, look good? Dolph Ziggler? Isn't Dolph Ziggler a part of a fucking tag team? He even said it himself. I'm coming over to Monday Night Raw from SmackDown with my tag team partner, Bobby Roode. So you're giving another tag team, one half of a tag team, a shot at the WWE Championship. Why? You don't think their value lies more in the tag team division that you seemingly have no fucking division at the moment? I don't see how you have Dolph Ziggler in this position instead of the tag team division on Monday Night Raw, where he would actually be useful and valuable. Why is anybody going to take Dolph Ziggler to be serious? As soon as I heard Dolph Ziggler, WWE Championship match, you already gave the outcome of the fucking match away before it was even booked. Why would anybody take this guy seriously? Seriously, why would anyone take this guy seriously at all? You are a bunch of mental cases. Every single one of you writing this show are a bunch of mental cases. How you look at this and say, we had a great idea. You are a blithering fucking idiot. I hope I fucking deaded everybody in the community with this segment on my show tonight. There is no way you can justify Dolph Ziggler in the WWE Championship title picture. Oh, but it plays off their history. Fuck history. I want logic. I want you to take somebody that actually had wins under his belt. I don't know, doesn't Aleister Black have the most wins on Monday Night Raw in 2020? Where is he? Oh, that's right, he's feuding with fucking Seth Rollins and Humberto Carrillo, ruining his character week by week. Great job there, Bruce. Great job. So we go from that, believe it or not, folks, this show was absolutely abhorrent in the first 30 minutes. We go from that, none of that made sense, to Nia Jax walking out. Nia Jax took a chair. She took a piece of steel that the people in the PC standing behind the plexiglass wish they could have. She took the steel chair into the ring. Jax said it must be Monday. Oh yeah, it must be Monday. You're on the fucking screen. Must be Monday because Charlotte Flair got exactly what she wanted, whether she deserves it or not. She said she was cheated out of becoming champion at Backlash, and again last week by a biased referee. She was interrupted by R-Truth, who danced and sang to the ring. He said he's scheduled to have a match against the leader of an evil ninja clan, Akira Tozawa. He asked if Nia Jax is the real Akira Tozawa. Folks, I swear to Christ, I swear on my grandfather's tomb, I did not laugh at this. If you found this entertaining or funny, you may have the worst sense of humor humanly possible. He said, everybody knows ninjas are masters of deception and disguise. Jax asked if she's really in the mood to be accused of being Akira Tozawa. Tozawa showed up from behind the announcer's desk. 4 ninjas showed up and chased Truth to the back. Jax said she's not leaving the chair. Charlotte's music played. Nia Jax gets up from her chair. So she just said she's not leaving her chair, and then Charlotte Flair comes out, and then she proceeds to get up from said chair that she just told you she wasn't going to get up from. Does she have the IQ of a fucking pea? Who writes this shit? So, Charlotte androided herself to the ring, folks. If we make it to WrestleMania next year, if we actually get a WrestleMania, remember how we had, I believe it was in Orlando, if I'm not mistaken. The one thing that comes to mind is the fucking maggots and the worms during Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt's match, right? Can you imagine if there's a long aisleway in Los Angeles and Charlotte comes out and she's on the show? Imagine we get the illuminated stage as a conveyor belt when Charlotte walks out. That would be great. That would be great. That would be one of the greatest moments in WrestleMania history. Charlotte Flair walking down the WrestleMania aisleway on a conveyor belt. Because that's exactly what she is. She's an android. She made her way to the ring. She said Jax dropped the ball like Bruce is dropping the ball riding Raw. This is only his second week. His second week, folks. Bear with it. And is now throwing a hissy fit. Jax said Charlotte gets her way because she is the daughter of Ric Flair. Charlotte said Rick now calls himself Charlotte Flair's dad, and he loves it. She asked a producer to open the ropes for her because she cannot possibly bear to do that herself, just like she cannot bear to lose to anybody in a WWE ring. Jax said she's delusional if she doesn't think her dad helped her career. So they're playing up the fact that Charlotte is given everything through Nia Jax. I don't care to see Nia Jax talking truth because I don't care about Nia Jax. You gotta get the right woman in this role to be saying these words, Bruce. Nia Jax ain't it. So Charlotte sarcastically said it was her dad who ended Asuka's winning streak and beat her twice last month. That's not really the case, but she's being sarcastic. Jax said she is the one woman who was built to take her crown. She stood and smiled, and then Charlotte just, in a very hesitated way, very lazily, attacks Nia Jax. They brawl, and I figured this is where exactly they were going to go with this. Nia Jax is going to injure Charlotte Flair or take Charlotte Flair out of the championship title picture with a supposed injury so that she has an excuse when she inevitably loses. That's exactly what I said was going to happen. It was either going to be this or it was either going to be Nia Jax interrupting the Asuka and Charlotte match on Raw, which we did not get, which I'm pleasantly surprised by. But now we got a Charlotte-Nia Jax feud looming, folks. I don't know who asked for that, but I know it ain't me, and I know it ain't you. Plus, it's two heels feuding. Who could possibly give a shit based off that one little aspect? If you gave a fucking iota of a care about this shit, that completely was wiped away because this is a heel versus heel dynamic. And these are two heels that I think the majority of the audience doesn't give a shit about. So good luck with that one, Bruce. Good luck with that one, man. Hope you fail, inevitably, like I know you will. Street Profits were talking backstage about their title defense against the Viking Globetrotters. The Profits said that they are not the NWO. They're not for life. They're forever. And they celebrated becoming friends. Angelo Dawkins said, when the bell rings, their friendship doesn't matter because they'll do whatever it takes to win. Eric said nothing will stop them from claiming their gold, so they better bring the smoke. Zelina Vega walked up as they walked away. She walked into camera frame, and she smiled. Looked like she had an idea of some kind. Now, I knew where they were going with this, and it sounds like, to me, somebody in WWE is listening to good old OTS in their free time. Because there's no fucking way that this show was taped today and all of a sudden this happened today. When I mentioned this last week. on Raw. Are your shows so bad that you're stealing my ideas? Maybe. Again, where are my royalties, bro? Stop stealing my ideas. I might have to cut you off. Street Profits, Angelo Dawkins, and Montez Ford versus the Viking Tiger Woods caddies. Eric and Ivar. Raw Tag Team title match. This one went 8 minutes. It's Championship edition of Monday Night Raw, folks. These guys have been in weeks of a competition. Anything you can do, I can do better. And WWE gives us 8 minutes of a tag team title match. So much for that. So much for that. What we seen was decent. If they would have given them another 8 minutes, it might have been great. Can't really tell much of a tag team match or a story in a tag team match in 8 minutes when you gotta rush, and get all your spots in. That's just me. That's my opinion. I don't know what you guys think, but that's just me. So we got the Street Profits winning here, retaining the titles in 8 minutes. The Raiders were in control. Profits came back, gave Eric a Viking experience, or what I'd like to call Thor's Hammer, like Morrow used to call it. The much cooler version of the maneuver. They got into a cartwheel contest, all 4 of them cartwheeling. Eric then powerbombed the Raiders, or I guess the Profits rather, at once. But Dawkins avoided a top rope Ivar splash, which looked like it would have sucked, but he missed it. He then landed the cash out, did Dawkins, spinebuster, and then speared Eric. Ford tagged in, landed a beautiful top rope frog splash for the win, and that was it. The Street Profits retained the tag team titles in 8 minutes. The 2 teams hugged and embraced and showed some respect to each other after the match. That was it. Action was good. We got a commercial break, and this one should have went longer. For a championship edition of Monday Night Raw, you could cut out all the other fucking garbage that wasn't needed on this show and given these guys another 8 minutes after weeks of TV built up around whatever the fuck they were doing. 8 minutes. According to WWE, tag team wrestling doesn't draw. 8 minutes. It's exactly what you got. As the Profits celebrated, Andrade and Angel Garza attacked them. Zelina Vega came and interrupted, quote-unquote, their little backstage segment. After they had walked away, she walks on in and smiles. This is why she was smiling. Now, why did they attack both of these teams? Because last week, we had Garza and Andrade. They were arguing and they were bickering, and Zelina Vega said, you better stop fighting each other and start fighting together. It was then at that point where I knew WWE was not going to do anything with them individually, and you might as well just pair these teams together because right now you have absolutely no tag team division. Another reason why this is happening is because Kevin Owens, who was in a feud with Angel Garza, is not at the tapings. Who knows when he's coming back? Meltzer says he'll be back next week. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think Owens is going to sit it out as long as he can until he knows everything is all right. There was a report that Owens' wife, her grandfather, I believe, was with COVID, CV-19, and he passed away, I believe. And now Owens is not going to go back to the Performance Center because of what happened with the WWE shitstorm, where they had a second case of CV-19 just last week. And the protocol and the administering of the testing did not go the right way. So obviously they changed plans here. Garza and Owens is no more. Now we got Garza and Andrade teaming together for the common good, and that common good is the tag team championships. I like it. I like it. Those two are fucking great at what they do. They could be a great heel tag team for the Street Profits. And I honestly think they're a team that could bring out the serious side of the Street Profits, which honestly I miss. This cringe material that they're doing with the Viking Raiders does nothing for me. If Garza and Andrade bring out the best in the Street Profits, this is a success. Looking forward to it. Seth Rollins was backstage. He was staring off at, I don't know what. I really don't know what the fuck he was looking at. He was staring off as if he was looking at the Monday Night Raw ratings declining, minute by minute, segment by segment. He then looked into the camera and said, sometimes in life, We are destined for our roles, not our choices. He said Rey didn't choose to be a sacrifice, but the difference between them is that he accepted his role in the greatest good, while Rey has been defiant, and defiance breeds suffering. He said it's a shame he's allowed his son to get involved now, and whatever happens to his son and him is on Rey. That is guilt you have to harbor because the greater good is coming for us all, and there's nothing you can do to stop it. I've heard it said that legends never die, but they can sure as hell outlive their welcome. So that's what Rollins said. I'm enjoying Rollins. I don't know where this fucking feud is going. This is pretty much a rehashed version of whatever the fuck he was doing with Joe and Owens and the Raiders and the Profits back during Royal Rumble. This is nothing more than a rehash. I don't even know what the fucking point of this is if Dominic isn't joining Rollins and his disciplehood. What's the point? Charlie Caruso is backstage. She approached the android. She wanted to know what her battery levels were at. Apparently they were at only 73%. And asked if she thought about postponing her title match against Asuka with the injured shoulder she has now. Charlotte said she never delays, and her arm will just be fine holding up in that Raw Championship title match. She came out of the trainer's office with kinesio tape, that black tape, all over her shoulder, selling the injury. Charlie moved over when Charlotte went away, and she seen Garza, Andrade, and Zelina hanging out in the backstage area. She went up to them. She smiled at Garza. Obviously, Garza flirted back. You better be careful, bro. Knowing the climate nowadays, you breathe near a woman, you're going to get fucking suspended. Garza flirted with her some more as she asked what provoked their attack on the Profits. Vega said her clients took their differences and turned them into strength, and they will soon be taking a common prize. Andrade explained she was referring to the Tag Team Championships. Duh. Thank you, Andrade. I didn't know. I had no idea. Being that you just attacked the Tag Team Champions, what the fuck else were you going for? The smoke? Maybe you can help me find where Bianca Belair is. Bruce? Where's Bianca Belair? Bruce? Clown. Before we get into hour two, because Asuka and Charlotte, I'm sure you're dying to hear about that one. Before we get into hour two, guys, quick shout out. Harrys.com/script. Times are tough. They're very tough, bro. Mondays are tough. 3 hours of Raw, you can't get any more tougher than that, man. It's ridiculous. Harry's is still here, though, to help you look your best while saving you a little bit of cash along the way. Look at me. Look at me. I look good. Business on top, PJs on the bottoms. That's my motto every single week. Harry's has your grooming needs covered with high-quality blades as low as $2 each, delivered straight to your doorstep. Now, obviously, it's tough out there. Social distancing is key. I know you guys probably are dying for a haircut and a shave. Harry's has got you covered, man. Look at me. I've been growing my beard in, and I love it. I really think it's great. And every time I use a Harry's product to make sure my quarantine beard and my social distancing beard is shaved, I feel great. Glide of the blade is awesome. The shave gel is great with aloe, keeps my skin hydrated. And the most important thing is, man, I got sensitive skin. I never cut myself using a Harry's product. Get your Harry's trial set and feel what I feel every single week. Harrys.com/script. They are a return to the essential, man. Quality, durable blades at a fair price, just $2 per blade. They cut out the middleman, manufacturing blades in their German blade factory that's been honing precision for over a century, which means you guys get incredibly high-quality blades at factory direct prices. Blade refills are delivered directly to your door on your schedule with or without a subscription. And in this particularly challenging time, feel a little bit better about your purchase. 1% of proceeds are set aside for nonprofit organizations devoted to helping provide access to better health care for men and veterans, and they're donating $1 million worth of shaving supplies to hospitals across the United States. What you guys are going to get when you use our unique link, harrys.com/script, a weighted handle for a firm grip, 5-blade razor with a lubricating strip and a trimmer blade, rich lathering shave gel with aloe to keep your skin hydrated, and a travel blade cover to keep your razor dry and easy on the go. Guys, it's simple. Start shaving better today. Harrys.com/scripts. Start of hour 2, man. Asuka versus Charlotte, Raw Women's Championship match. This one went 12 minutes. Asuka, believe it or not, made Charlotte Flair tap out. Now, I didn't really take any notes on this because I am honestly sick and tired of seeing Asuka and Charlotte in the ring together. I've seen it one too many times for me to now even give a shit about what they do in the ring. Are they great at what they do? Yes. That doesn't mean we need to see it every single other week on Monday Night Raw. So Asuka rolled Charlotte right into the Asuka lock. Charlotte tapped out. That was pretty much it. How we got there, Charlotte stood and powerbombed Asuka because Asuka went for an armbar. Asuka rolled right into the Asuka lock, and that was it. She tapped out. Phillips said for years Charlotte had Asuka's number until tonight. Charlotte was shown dejected in the corner. She did not cry like she usually does, but Asuka wins, tap out in 12 minutes. I was shocked by this. I really was. Now, I don't want you guys to start throwing parades. I don't want you guys to get the confetti out and the champagne. This is only step 1 here. Nia Jax, I thought, was going to come in and interrupt this match and really make it a triple threat match for Extreme Rules. WWE really didn't do that. They went in another completely illogical way, which I'll talk about in a little bit. Nia Jax did not show face in this match. Asuka wins. Now, WWE may have something else planned for the women's division and the women's titles in general in WWE. I have no idea what they're doing. I could have swore. You know, Nostradamus isn't right all the time, bro. I'm sorry. I thought they were going to give this one to Charlotte, make it a triple threat match at Extreme Rules with Charlotte kind of losing here or having a DQ finish here, leading to a triple threat match with Charlotte pinning Nia so that Asuka doesn't get pinned, in their eyes, protecting her. Charlotte wins the title by pinning Nia, gets her revenge on Nia. She goes to SummerSlam to go battle Asuka, again as Asuka chases because Asuka can't beat Charlotte, and Asuka would have gotten the win at SummerSlam. That was my idea. Now, they didn't do that. Now it looks like we're headed for Nia Jax versus Charlotte, and Asuka is going in a completely different direction for the next 3 weeks. I don't know. So we'll see what happens there, but I'm surprised by this, man. Again, I have a sneaking suspicion that this is only the beginning of what they are planning for Charlotte. I would not get excited yet. Please, don't get excited. This is WWE and their favorite blonde. Don't get excited. You know a championship is coming on Monday night. Moving on here, man. Edge. The Edge, Orton, and Christian saga continues on Monday Night Raw. The one thing that I want the WWE to bring back while we were in this empty arena phase for Raw and SmackDown was the backstage promos. And I'm glad that WWE is still utilizing them with people that could really deliver a great promo, a.k.a. Edge. Edge was in a darkened ring somewhere in the Performance Center. Sure, this was taped earlier in the day. They showed him with his bicep all wrapped up. They made light of the injury. My immediate thought when Edge was on TV is that the injury is not as serious as everybody reported it really was. Because if he's on TV here, then they're clearly building to something with Edge and Randy Orton at SummerSlam, is what I'm thinking. But Edge is always a great promo. He was always a great promo. And this was awesome. Everything about this was great. I said it once, and I'm going to say it again. The Edge and Orton feud, I don't think it deserves main event billing anymore. I don't think the comeback needs to be highlighted anymore. He's back. He's in the trenches. He's doing his thing. He doesn't need that spotlight anymore of like, oh my God, 9.5 years, he's back. We're over that. He's now part of the regular roster on Monday night. So, with Edge being back and this Orton feud continuing, I said it once, I'm going to say it again. If this feud was built and determined and graded on promo work alone, this would be some of the best stuff in recent memory that WWE has ever done. I think both Randy Orton and Edge have cut promos that they could go back 50 years from now and be proud of. That would last a lifetime. That's how great these promos have been. This is just great stuff by both of them. Some of the best promo work in Edge's career. Randy Orton right now, not a big Randy Orton guy. But when I look at Randy Orton, I see a perfect pro wrestler. A lot of people think that. I'm not a big Randy Orton guy. But this version of Randy Orton and the version of Randy Orton that we seen when he was on SmackDown doing all those heinous things to Jeff Hardy and before that, that's the version of Randy Orton I like. This Randy Orton right now is just gelling on a completely different level. He is back at the top of the mountain to a point where you could probably be thinking, Randy Orton should be a WWE champion contender. And I would not really slight you at all if you told me that. Because I mentioned that on the podcast this past weekend. I think Randy Orton should be in discussion for a WWE championship. I don't know when Edge is coming back. He may be out there 8-9 months that WWE supposedly said he would be. Or the injury entails. We don't know. He can come back in 2 to 3 months. He could come back by SummerSlam, and we should not even be talking about Randy Orton and a WWE championship because he'll probably go one-on-one with Edge at SummerSlam. But the promo work between these two has been unbelievable. Edge was in a darkened room inside the Performance Center, leaning against the turnbuckle. He said Orton might have won at Backlash, but he doesn't live up to his claim of being the better natural wrestler. He said he hit him with an RKO and tore the muscles off his bone, but he kept fighting. He told Orton that he'll himself, prove a point. Kept him around to prove a point. That's bullshit. And obviously bullshit was bleeped out, but he said bullshit. I like it. It's real. It's intense. It's not fucking scripted. He said he saw the panic in Orton's eyes before he hit him with a supposed accidental low blow. Said he watched Raw last week and saw Orton now calling himself the greatest ever. He said he can put it on t-shirts and anything else because beating him means that much to him. Edge says he expected to be better than Orton, and beating him wouldn't have been as big of a deal as it is to Orton that he beat him. He said he is disappointed. He didn't see the low blow coming, but he won't let that happen again. He said the injury showed him that he needs to wake up. He needs to wake up a side of him that has been dormant for far too long. He said he's questioned Christian's guts and manhood. When you know he isn't medically cleared to wrestle and hasn't wrestled in 6 years, you punt him in the head? Edge asked. He said he has been my best friend and helped me through every trial and tribulation in this life. He said he put the happy to be back version of himself to bed, and he's thankful. He said he will do whatever it takes now to get what he wants. He said he doesn't care about winning a wrestling match anymore. He said he's going to embarrass him and emasculate him and make you wish Cowboy Bob Orton was firing blanks on the day you were conceived. This is exactly what Edge said. That line was awesome. He said his kids are going to see him and run up to him and notice something isn't right and ask if he's okay. He said he will now know what's coming. He said he'll be screaming louder than the voices in Orton's head. I will seep into every aspect of your life and infect it and tear your life apart brick by brick from the outside. You have no idea what you've done. You've woken up the evil. You woke up the rated R superstar. Get some sleep while you can. Randy. End of the promo. Edge is awesome at these. Randy Orton is equally awesome at these. And I'm thinking back to when WWE was promoting his comeback and promoting his WrestleMania match with Randy Orton. We were all excited. It was easily a top-notch WrestleMania program going in just based on what we've seen on Monday Night Raw. The match was awful. No question. I don't give a shit what Orton or Edge or anybody in WWE tells you. The match was awful at WrestleMania. One of the worst WrestleMania matches of all time. Then they foolishly promote the greatest wrestling match ever, which it wasn't. It was great, but it wasn't the greatest wrestling match ever. It might have been the greatest wrestling match ever for Orton, might have been the greatest wrestling match ever for Edge, but it certainly wasn't the greatest wrestling match in wrestling ever. It was great. And it told a great story. They got Christian involved. Christian was on Monday Night Raw. I didn't really care for it. I wish WWE would have gone in a completely different, unpredictable direction. I mentioned Tommaso Ciampa. I've had cretins in the comment section. Oh, but JD Tommaso Ciampa said he'd retire if he made the main roster. I know. That doesn't mean you can't do a one-off. And I'm going to get back to that point in a second. This was going great. They had one minor hiccup at WrestleMania. This is good stuff. Now Orton and Edge have a feud that is stalled because he's hurt. But I'm looking back at everything that happened here, and I'm looking over all of the feud that we've seen so far. I'm looking at this promo. I'm listening to this promo. I'm listening to Edge speak. And it dawned on me that what they are doing is very calculated and very planned. It's very direct. I don't think Edge really wanted to be True Grit. I don't think Edge wanted to be the fucking sob story. I don't think Edge wanted to be the comeback kid here. Everything was building up for what he said here tonight. This is a restart. This is a seemingly restarted version, a renewed version of the Rated R Superstar. Edge was always the Rated R Superstar. One of the greatest heels in the history of this company is the Rated R Superstar that you and I fell in love with when he was having live sex with Lita on Monday Night Raw. Winning the WWE Championship by stealing it away from John Cena at the Elimination Chamber. That's the Edge that you and I fell in love with. That was the Rated R Superstar for that generation. This is the Rated R Superstar for this generation. For this 2020 generation. And Randy Orton is getting him to that Rated R Superstar version. And there's no better person to do that, to get that version of Edge out, than Randy Orton. When you look at everything that happened and look at this as a reset of the Rated R Superstar, I think it's fucking great. A lot of people shit on this, and rightfully so, because they had high expectations for it. You put it out there, you put your comeback out there, you put all the excitement into that WrestleMania match, and you deliver that match at WrestleMania, it is very easy for people to walk away disappointed. If what we seen at Backlash happened at WrestleMania, I don't think people would bat a fucking eye. I don't think people would complain about what's going on here. But I understand why they didn't do what they did at WrestleMania with Backlash. Because they didn't know. Edge had no idea he could go the way he did at Backlash. They wanted to take it easy. Throwing him out there in that type of match, his first real match back, kind of risking a lot. And they risked it anyway at Backlash. He ended up hurt. But I think if things were backwards, I think we would be looking at this entire story a little bit differently, and none of us would have complained. Do I think it's the main event of the show? No. I think we're long past that. You're not going to put something like this and continue to harp on his comeback trail for the entire year. It's over and done with. It was a moment. It was great. Move on. You don't need to keep selling everybody on the fact that Edge is back. I get it. It's July now. That was in January. Get over it. But this was great. This is the reset of the Rated R Superstar. And this is another match, another SummerSlam match between these guys, and it's going to be the payoff that Edge is going to overcome the Viper. Orton, backstage. I'm assuming he listened to the words that Edge was saying. He was a little worried. Charlie Caruso walked up to him and said he critically injured Edge at Backlash. He then interrupted and asked if she knows what a snake does when it's threatened. He said a snake will strike wildly and blindly what Mother Nature intended for it to do in order to survive. He said Edge and Christian might try to make comebacks, but he'll strike blindly and wildly and do what it takes to defend his family and his livelihood. It's Mother Nature, Charlie. He said he hopes they'll both make a full recovery, meaning him and Christian, and lead happy, fulfilling lives. And as long as they do, it'll be far, far, far away from him. He said now he has something to discuss with Ric Flair. Charly Caruso then approached Charlotte and asked how she handled a loss like this tonight. Charlotte said she gives Asuka credit because targeting her arm was the only way she would win. What a great way, what a great woman to help put over Charlotte. That's the only way you could beat me, is by attacking my weakest part. That doesn't make Asuka a coward or a cheater, Charlotte. That makes her a smart champion. But you didn't hear those words out of Charlotte, of course. Just saying. Nia Jax came from behind and attacked Charlotte Flair. She slammed a crate door on her arm. And then she mocked Charlotte Flair with the signature woo. Charlotte, by the way, in this segment, she did not sell one lick of this attack by Nia Jax. No wincing in pain, no crying out in pain. She just laid there. She stood there. She sat there, rocking back and forth like fucking Mankind in a goddamn basement somewhere in the bowels of the building. That's all she did. No yelping, no screaming, no fucking crying out in pain. Just sat there holding her on. No selling whatsoever. Just letting her know. Do a better job, honey. Do a better job. You're supposed to be the greatest of all time. You can't fucking sell? Please. R-Truth versus the leader of the Foot Clan, Akira Tozawa. Must be great working WWE programming as a fucking ninja. Sure, Bruce and Vince are having a fucking grand old time in Gorilla. 24/7 title match. Truth made his way out. He danced to the ring with his irrelevant title. Tozawa held a karate stance in the middle of the ring. Phillips explained that the 24/7 title rules are suspended as long as the match is taking place. Lashley and MVP attacked the ninjas at ringside, then entered the ring. MVP distracted Truth, and Lashley put him in the full Nelson, threw him to the mat, ragdolling him. Tozawa, at this time, seen Lashley and hid underneath the ring. When Lashley and MVP had left the ringside area, he came out from underneath the ring, pinned R-Truth, and won the 24/7 title. This is Championship Night on Monday night, folks. This is the Championship edition of Monday night. Fucking ninjas. And Akira Tozawa hiding to win a championship because the match didn't get started because of Bobby Lashley. There you go. And I just want to make one quick observation here. You know, Bobby Lashley, being that the 24... Well, they did say the titles were suspended, so never mind. I was going to make a logical standpoint, but they covered their asses on this one. I was going to say, well, so it shows you how much Bobby Lashley gives a shit about the 24/7 title that he just left this guy laying and he didn't pin him, but Tom Phillips covered his ass. It was suspended. The rules of the title were suspended. And Akira Tozawa was the only one who could pin him. Good on you, WWE. You made fucking sense in one segment tonight. Kudos. Kudos. Sarah Schreiber stood outside the doctor's training room. She wanted to get an update on Charlotte and the severity of the injury that she didn't sell with Nia Jax. Natalya said, what Raw... Well, by the way, Natalya walks up. As if anybody wants to hear fucking Natalya. She walks up. She said, Raw needs leadership. Raw needs her leadership. Oh, really? Raw and the women's division needs Natalya's leadership with her fucking cat ears. We need Natalya's leadership. Sure. Where's Bianca? Where's Shayna? That's what we need on the fucking show. We don't need your leadership. Can you go get them for me, please? Maybe inquire with Bruce. I'm sure he knows. Natalya said she has a major announcement. She has a new cat food sponsorship. No, that's not her announcement, but it should be. Because nobody gives a shit about Natalya's major announcement. And she should have it at some point this evening, but the interview is over. The interview is over. Schreiber invited her to reveal it. No, it's too late, she said. I have to go to the ring. I have a match. Well, listen, honey, I would rather hear your fucking announcement than watch you in the ring. I'm just saying. Natalya versus Liv Morgan. Natalya came out with Lana. That's the major announcement, folks. Lana is now managing Natalya because she's no good as a pro wrestler herself, so why not? Her husband is now playing video games on Twitch, and Lana is now managing Natalya. What else is she managing? Is she managing her fucking cat food intake too? Change the filter in the water bowl 6 times a day. Lana. 3 minutes. Liv Morgan loses. What did you expect? You expected them to push Liv Morgan? How much have they botched Liv Morgan's return? All I heard was Liv Morgan say, "Are you kidding me?" when Lana came out. So Natalya and Lana are now a duo. She got the sharpshooter on Liv Morgan for the tap out. Natalya didn't release the submission right away. Natalya let go of the hold and hugged Lana at ringside. Not one comment about Liv Morgan and Lana's marriage storyline from December. Not one. From this past December. Not one fucking comment. So there you go. So much for Liv Morgan, folks. I wish I could tell you a different story. I don't know what to say. I really don't. Charlie Caruso was interviewing The Big Show. Yeah, I know. At this point, I'm probably sure you turned off the review, no matter where you are. But yes, this is Monday Night Raw, folks. Big Show on Monday Night Raw in June of 2020. I asked the same question. Why? Big Show is being interviewed by Charlie, and she asked if he ever imagined he'd be fighting off ninjas. I never imagined Big Show on Raw in 2020, but she's asking him about fucking ninjas. Show said when he thought he's seen everything, an army of ninjas show up. He said he stopped by to say hello to old friends. Sure you did. But it was his pleasure to lend the Raiders and Profits a right hand. He explained his play on words. You know, the WMD. He plugged his Netflix series, of course. He says he's not about fun tonight, though. He said people think it's all about fun, but they forget that behind this fun exterior, there's one heartless, angry giant. He said when that guy comes out, he can do whatever he wants to anyone he wants, and there's nothing anyone can do about it. Oh, man, when you put it that way, maybe I should reach for the fucking remote control and change the goddamn channel. Folks, I don't know why Big Show is on TV, but WrestleVotes tweeted out during this show tonight an image from Randy Orton and Big Show and their Extreme Rules match back, a couple of years back at Extreme Rules. And that's all they tweeted out. A picture of their Extreme Rules match from a couple of years ago. And I'm like, please don't. Please don't tell me this is happening. Please don't tell me this is where they're going creatively. So Ric Flair comes out. He stood in the middle of the ring because he was about to deem Randy Orton the greatest wrestler ever. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. So Flair said what Jack... First of all, he talked about his daughter. Of course he did. Flair said what Jax did to Charlotte will make her wish she never crossed Charlotte's path. He then turned to talking about Orton. He said the word arguable doesn't apply because the best in the business today is Randy Orton. I think there are several people who are going to have a different opinion than you, Rick. By the way, with no fucking masks inside the Performance Center, this guy is arguable to get CV. Throwing that out there. Kudos to WWE for being negligent with a Hall of Famer. He said he took Edge and Christian both into retirement in a 24-hour period last week. Flair called Randy to the ring. He declared him the best ever. They shook hands. Orton said they are half of Evolution. He said sometimes nostalgia can be confused with legacy. And Orton said it was nostalgic that last week Flair showed he is the dirtiest player in the game still. He said it was nostalgic that he punt-kicked Christian out of the ring again, and that Edge stepped into the ring for the very last time last week. He said it's not nostalgia to call him the Legend Killer. It is simply cementing my legacy. He said he euthanized the careers of Edge and Christian. He said the voices in his head are rarely on the same page, but they are shouting in unison that he is the Legend Killer. And then out comes... The Big Show. The Big Show comes out, folks, and our nightmares are becoming a reality. Show entered the ring. I cried. I reached for the remote control, but my sobbing was so intense that I could not reach for the remote control on my TV table, on my living room table. Show entered the ring and said, Edge and Christian are his friends, and he'll pay for what he did to them. Oh, just like how we're paying that we have to see this match take place at Extreme Rules in 2020, right? We're the ones paying. I'd rather be Edge and Christian right now to watch this fucking garbage. Says he's known Randy for a long time. I've known for a long time that the Big Show is absolutely terrible. And from the second he met him, he knew he was a narcissistic parasite who will prey on anyone who can help him, he said. A narcissistic parasite who will prey on anyone who can help him. I'm thinking, who wrote this? Who speaks like that? You're a narcissistic parasite. Gotta be a fucking Vince McMahon thing. He said that's currently someone he used to respect, Ric Flair. Said he latches onto competitors over and over, and that was Edge at one point. He said those competitors make him better because he lacks the motivation to make himself better. He said like a parasite, once he gets what he wants, he leaves the host to die. Am I watching a fucking sci-fi movie here? What are you talking about? I mean, who talks like this? Seriously, it's like I'm watching something on the fucking Sci-Fi Network. Parasites and hosts. Killing off the fucking host. Said like a parasite, once he gets what he wants, he leaves the host to die. Said Edge didn't die, though, and he will pay him back someday. Big Show says he's pissed off because he's going to break every bone in his body in the meantime. Orton says he won't touch a hair on Flair's head because he's paved the way for people like him. Orton said they are friends who came up together. He said Show took him under his wing and thinks the world of him. He said he's indeed a future Hall of Famer. Some might even say you're a legend, he said. He looked at Show as if he wondered if that double meaning registered with Show. Said it'd be a shame for him to suffer the same fate as his friends Edge and Christian. Show asked Orton to square up and fight. Don't run. Orton dropped to the floor and told Show, look at what he's done in the last 15 years, especially in the last week. He says he's motivated. He should be scared of him. I'm on another level. He said what happens to him next is on him. And then he ordered Rick and himself to leave together. Now, I don't think anybody asked for the Legend Killer version of Randy Orton. It was not really necessary to bring the Legend Killer version of Randy Orton back, folks. WWE, for some reason, Bruce and Vince McMahon think that Ric Flair and Christian and Paul White, the Big Show, are still ratings draws in 2020. And I will be watching with a smile on my face when the ratings come in for Monday Night Raw and they are still below a 2. And then I want to ask, sincerely, wholeheartedly, why you think Big Show, Christian, and Ric Flair, and old-timers like this are a means to a ratings draw? What makes you think people want to see the fucking Big Show and Randy Orton in 2020 in this Legend Killer versus Legend storyline that's currently going on now with Edge and Christian and Randy Orton, and now somehow involves the Big Show? Who thought of this and thought this was a good idea? It's 2020. Is anyone in the back thinking to themselves, we are taking fucking a time machine step backwards in this company? But you won't push any of the new talent on this show. You won't get behind any of the new talent the way you've gotten behind the fucking Big Show in about a month on Monday night. I ask why. Why does Big Show and Christian and Ric Flair still get more TV time than any of the new? Do you realize, and I don't mean this because I'm a fan of his, do you understand that Big Show had more segments and more TV time on this show than Humberto Carrillo? That Ric Flair and Big Show combined had more TV time on this show than the entire Street Profits versus Viking Raiders match. Do you realize that the Big Show had more TV time than Aleister Black on this show? How does that sit right with you? Do you not realize you're taking a step backwards? Several steps backwards. Let me rephrase that. Several steps backwards with this storyline. Nobody asked for the Legend Killer storyline. Nobody. Is that a version of Randy Orton that is great? That will go in the annals of WWE history as one of the greatest ever? Yes. But that doesn't mean you need to revise it, revisit it in 2020. I mentioned this on Friday and Saturday show, I believe. I mentioned it last week on Monday Night Raw. Where's Tommaso Ciampa? Why don't you actually take something that these two guys started on Twitter and make it a reality on Monday night? Then I got the Cretans telling me, oh, JD, if Tommaso Ciampa goes to the main roster, he says he'd retire. I'm not asking to put Tommaso Ciampa on the main roster. They're all working out of the same fucking building. Tommaso Ciampa would quit pro wrestling if he had to go to Monday Night Raw and tour 300 days a year with Monday Night Raw. I get it. There's no touring. They're operating out of one building and one building only every single week. So what is the fucking problem by using Tommaso Ciampa here in defensive edge? You'd be building up a young guy, quote-unquote a young guy, an NXT guy. You'd be getting NXT some exposure on Monday night. No, but you opt to use the fucking Big Show thinking the Big Show is a draw in 2020. Man, oh man. How I don't envy anybody working on Monday night. Or Friday night, for that matter. I mean, if you justify this garbage, bro, you are just as bad, you are just as guilty as the people writing and producing this show. You do not have the best interest of WWE at heart. You don't. If anybody justifies this show tonight and justifies seeing the Big Show and Randy Orton at Extreme Rules again in the interim until Edge comes back, you are a guilty party in this show being the absolute worst fucking show ever. And you have absolutely, I don't give a fuck if it's an opinion or not, you have absolutely no room to talk about anything pro wrestling. You don't want a better show. You don't want a better WWE. You want WWE to die in mediocrity. I want it to thrive. I want creativity. I want logic. You don't want any of those things. This is a 3-hour shit show, and this show clearly is written by people way out of their fucking time. Way out of their time. Way out of their prime. It is ridiculous. The people running this show do not belong writing a show for this talent. It is a fucking disgrace. Orton and Show, spare me. Spare me. Sasha Banks and Bayley versus the fucking Iconics. Billie Kay and Peyton Royce, WWE Tag Team title match. This one went 8 minutes, another 8-minute tag team match. This one is going 8 minutes, but the Street Profits and Viking Raiders go 8 minutes as well. So much for tag team wrestling. The shorter this match went, the better, because I don't know who the fuck could look at the Iconics and even bear to see them wrestle in the ring. Sasha and Bayley retain the title. We had a quick, almost tease of a finish here to start the match. Shades of Kay for a believable quick near fall. Sasha kicked out. Towards the end of this thing, Royce shoved Sasha into Bayley, knocking Bayley to the floor. Royce rolled Sasha up for 2 counts. Banks made a quick comeback. They double-teamed. Sasha fought her way out of the double team. Got Royce in a beautiful bank statement for the tap-out win, and that was it. That was it. I'm not even going to go into it because the match was fucking terrible, but the right winners won. After the match, Bayley said, "Oh my God, we're good." Bayley asked Sasha if she's right. Yes, you're right. We're that good. Sasha says she's been thinking about Bayley dos straps lately. And she can't help but get a little jealous watching Bayley carry around 2 titles. She said she's her best friend and loves seeing her happy. She said she can't help but want to experience it as well. She paused, then said she wants a title match. Bayley looked at her very puzzled and confused. The audience chanted yes because everybody thought we were going to get Sasha versus Bayley to Extreme Rules. Sasha officially challenged Asuka and swerved everybody. Challenged Asuka for the Raw Women's Championship. She turned to the camera and laughed at their swerve. Bayley started laughing with her. Asuka came out, talked in Japanese, said, "You are not the boss of me. I accept." Bayley attacked Asuka. Sasha joined in. Asuka fought back, but Sasha put her down with a backstabber and a bank statement. and that was it, while Sasha danced and mocked Asuka with the Raw Women's Championship. This literally came out of left field. I don't know what WWE is going to do here with the Women's Championship on Monday night. I can have one option happen, which I know that they will probably go with, and then we can have the other option, which I wish that they would go with. Let's talk about the option that they're going to go with here. This clearly is going to be used as a way to bring Bayley and Sasha and their feud to obviously a boil. The jealousy aspect is going to, I'm sure, play a factor at Extreme Rules. Bayley may end up costing Sasha Banks the title because she can't live with Sasha being Sasha Two Belts. Because if Sasha is mimicking Bayley and mirroring Bayley in this situation, then Bayley knows that Sasha's going to get all the attention because she is the more popular of the two, I would say. I don't think it's that far-fetched to think that Sasha is more popular than Bayley. That is probably what is going to happen. What I want to have happen is Sasha to beat Asuka, just to keep the title away from Charlotte, number one. But Sasha to beat Asuka, be Sasha Two Belts against Bayley Dulce Straps, and we have a merging of the women and the Raw Women's and the SmackDown Women's Championships at SummerSlam in a who is better than who match. And it just comes to a boil there. Merge the championships. Winner take all. You know? That's what I want to have happen. I don't think that's going to happen, but that's the way I would book it. Merge the goddamn divisions. You're not doing anything with 70% of these women. You might as well. Now, I do have one question. Why does Sasha get a Raw Women's Championship match when she's not a Raw superstar? And do not tell me that she is a Raw superstar because she is a tag team champion. The tag team champions give you the right to show up on Monday night, but you're a SmackDown superstar at the end of the day. Sasha Banks is a SmackDown superstar. She's a part of the SmackDown women's division. So by all means, she has no right to challenge Asuka for the Raw Women's Championship because she's a SmackDown superstar. That is a huge logic gap. And again, let me reiterate, do not tell me that she's a Raw superstar because she holds the Tag Team Championship. It doesn't work that way. WWE needs to fill in that huge logic gap. Now, it's a minor criticism because WWE doesn't really lend its priority to having split rosters here. But is the match going to be great? Yes, take my money. Anything with Sasha and somebody equally as good as Sasha in the ring for a championship is going to be good television. So I'm all for that. But I would like WWE to make light of that. And I would like WWE to merge the goddamn divisions here and give me Sasha and Bayley champion versus champion at SummerSlam. That's the way it should be. End this fucking bullshit, really. That's not what they're going to do. Bayley's probably going to cost Sasha at Extreme Rules. Asuka is going to be the Raw Women's Champion. And then that is going to split away Bayley and Sasha and start their feud going into SummerSlam. That's what is probably going to happen, but stranger things have happened. So we'll see what happens there. Sarah Schreiber asked Lashley backstage if he was trying to make a statement earlier. Lashley said he should be WWE Champion, but truth ruined it. Lashley said what he did was introduce the rest of the roster to hurt the business. MVP said Lashley is a man revitalized, free of distractions. He said their association has done wonders for his career. He said it could do the same for Apollo Crews. He said he's tremendously talented, but he doesn't get the business side. He said Apollo has a chance to be the most prolific U.S. champion since him. He said if Apollo makes the wrong decision, that's on him. He said it wouldn't be personal. It'd be business. Ruby Riott approached Liv Morgan backstage. She looked sad and defeated. Liv said nothing is going her way and she really doesn't need her making her feel worse than she already does. Could we be seeing Liv Morgan and Ruby Riott join forces again as a tag team in a mini Riott Squad reunion of sorts? At this point, I don't know what would be better. Liv needs some direction, and it gets Ruby Riott on TV. I'm all for that. So we'll see what happens there. MVP Lounge. I want to kind of speed through this because We got 2 more segments here. MVP Lounge. MVP was in the ring. By the way, I got to say this about MVP. I did not like that he was on TV as much as he was coming out of the Royal Rumble. Didn't know what they were doing with him. They were using him as an in-ring competitor. They were using him just in these random VIP segments with no direction whatsoever. MVP, even though I did not want him on TV, is actually one of the better parts of Monday Night Raw. I think he is absolutely playing this role that he's in great. He sounds great, and I really want to have high hopes for what he's doing because it could be good, and maybe we'll divulge a little bit on off the script this coming weekend because I really do think that if they did put some priority into what MVP is doing, could be a really, really good position for him on Monday night, having a dominant stable the way he is teasing on Raw. He was in the ring, said his hope is that his guest, Apollo Crews, is a future client. MVP said it just feels right to have the United States champion in the MVP lounge. Said he respects that Crews wants to be a fighting champion. He also gained respect for him when he beat MVP. Said he recklessly blew out his knee, forfeiting his chance in the tournament. The Money in the Bank ladder match. He said he needs someone to help him navigate those bad decisions. Says he's already made mistakes, and he can help Crews avoid them. Said he's the one man who can help his daughter have the life she wants. Crews says, listen, I've gotten this far without anybody's help, and I appreciate the offer, but the answer is still no. MVP said the potential in Apollo is that he could be one of the greatest champions that WWE has. Not as great as me, of course, but in your own right. He said there's no rule that says he has to wrestle every week. He said he can't be U.S. champion for a long time without him in his corner. Crews asked him to elaborate. MVP said he was U.S. champion for 343 days. He said it was a historic U.S. title run. He said he likes Crews, but he's made a nice offer twice, but there won't be a third time. He said one way or another, the United States title will be coming back where it belongs. What did he mean? Shelton Benjamin walked out, got in Crews' face. They went face-to-face. MVP distracted Crews. Shelton Benjamin attacked him. He threw Crews into the ring post. We get Apollo Crews versus Shelton Benjamin, a rematch from last week because Apollo cheated to get one over on Shelton. So we get another title match here. 3 minutes. Crews wins with a toss powerbomb, and that was pretty much it. After the match, MVP applauded. He tried to raise Crews' arm. Sugarcoating everything and pretending to be his friend. And after this, Lashley came out, attacked Crews from behind with a full Nelson, and ragdolled him. So it looks like we're getting Apollo and Bobby Lashley for the United States Championship. Lashley was WWE Championship material. Now he's back in the United States title hunt, which kind of solidifies that WWE looks at Bobby Lashley as a mid-card guy only. That's pretty much it. Can't get excited about it. I wasn't excited then. I'm not going to be excited now. In fact, if you're asking me to choose, I would not take the title of Apollo Crews. WWE is going to take the title of Apollo Crews because Vince doesn't look at Apollo Crews as anything more than a mid-card jobber. So right to Bobby Lashley it goes. They wanted a way to take the title of Crews. Lashley is their answer. Finally, guys, the last segment of the night. Rey and Dominic with Seth Rollins. This is the last segment of the night on Raw. They walk to the ring. Rey said, one of the most terrifying things that can happen to you as a parent is not being able to get a hold of your child. Said he tried calling him several times last Monday, but he got no response. Dominic, you scared the hell out of me. When he found out where he was headed, he didn't feel any better, he said. However, he managed to get out of a 3-on-1 situation. He said he made him proud, but also put him and his family at risk and made him angry. He said Seth tried to blind him, but he's learned to accept that. Said he knows he's bigger than him, but he's still his old man, and no matter what, no matter how big or strong he gets, he will always be his child. Dominic nodded, soaked up his father's words. He said, since Dominic fought for him, now it's time I fight for you, son. I got this one, son, he said. I need to get revenge on Seth Rollins, but I need to do it myself. Dominic said he understands where he's coming from, but he's not going anywhere. This is what a family looks like, and this family wants a fight, Dominic said. So Seth walked out to the stage. He walked down to the ring. Said if Dominic and Rey want to fight, they're putting him in a difficult position. He asked if he should slaughter a father in front of his son. And does he want to go down to the ring and make him watch while he sacrifices his boy? Says he's not sure what he should do, but it's not up to him. He said, these decisions aren't his decision. He said, it's fate and it's prophecy. He said, they're both in the same place at the same time. Two eyes are better than one. He extended his arm. He started to walk further down the ramp, and Murphy and Theory walked out behind Rollins. Seth said this is on Ray because it was his decision not to walk away. Aleister Black and Humberto attacked Theory and Murphy from behind. They beat up Murphy and Theory. They cornered Seth. Ray gave him a 619. Dominic then grabbed Seth and brought him towards the ringside steps. They wanted to blind him on the ringside steps like they blinded Mysterio. Murphy and Theory recovered and saved Seth. Seth choked Dominic as Theory and Murphy held Ray and made him watch. Phillips said Seth was trying to pierce Dominic's eye. Humberto and Black made the save with chairs as the show ended. Now, first of all, I got to say something about Aleister Black. I do not like Aleister Black coming out in this situation because he's all dark and mysterious. And, you know, you put him in situations like this and you make him feel like everybody else. You humanize Aleister Black when the whole gimmick of Aleister Black was to be mysterious and dark and, you know, brooding and coming up from the fucking depths, raising up from the grave. The more you present Aleister Black in that situation, the more I don't like him. WWE is really doing a huge disservice to Aleister Black every single time they have him in segments like this, coming out saving the day as if he's just regular Joe Schmo. I don't give a fuck about Humberto Carrillo. I don't give a shit about this storyline because it's going the same exact way that we seen Joe and Kevin Owens battle Seth Rollins towards the end of 2019. There is no difference. Absolutely no difference. The same storyline, just the names and the characters are changed. I'm waiting for Dominic to turn. I'm waiting for Seth and Dominic. I'm waiting for Dominic to join the Disciplehood. I'm waiting for a Rey Mysterio Seth Rollins match where Dominic is on the line. That's what needs to happen. Other than that, if this is just going to be regular, good old 3-on-3, I'm not interested. I'm not interested. They teased an eye for an eye tonight. WWE's got to throw a little bit more at us here to really make this captivating. Other than that, what they did on tonight's show, good, but I don't really have high hopes for this going anywhere after tonight. Seems like it's going down the regular path that WWE usually gives us, formulaic and ordinary. I could not give a shit about a Ray, Humberto, and Aleister Black versus Rollins, Murphy, and Theory six-man tag. I could not give a single shit. The story is about Dominic. I hope you get us there. I'm getting the fuck out of here. I've been here long enough. Thank you guys so very much for all of your support. Let me know what you thought of Monday Night Raw down below. Hit that thumbs up. Don't leave this video without hitting that thumbs up. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206. That's on Twitter and Instagram. Check off the script from this past weekend down below. See you guys on Wednesday for AEW Dynamite. Get your masks. Mouthmasker.com/OTS. Patreon.com/JD from NY206. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for all notifications. And, as always, Harry's.com/script. Guys, I will see you on Twitch tomorrow. I'll be streaming The Last of Us Part 2. Check it out. I'll see you guys on Wednesday for Dynamite, right back here on Off the Script. Until then, guys, have a good night. Hit that thumbs up. I'll see you on Wednesday.